Angela, it sounds to me as if you've really transformed your pain into purpose, right? You have gone through this, you are leading with your story, and now you are helping other people do the same through different modalities and offerings. Tell us a little bit more about the science that has backed one of these modalities. I think people would love to hear about that. What does that mean?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we all have emotions. Okay, so let's start there. We have emotions and feelings, and this is a society that doesn't honor them, right? We squish them down, stiff upper lip, control yourself, don't show your emotions, right? And that leads to all manner of disease, physical disease and mental health
Mm.
issues. And in 1998, there was a scientist in America who created something called the ACEs. And he found out 10 places where people would have been wounded in their childhood. And he gave a mark for every time you got wounded, not every time you got wounded, but like physical violence, emotional violence, sexual violence, neglect, mental health, imprisonment. So there are 10 criteria. Every time you tick one of those boxes, you have an ACE score. And the higher the ACE score, he found out, the more propensity later in life there's a connection to physical disease, cancers, heart disease, addictions, mainly and autoimmune disease. So as a scientist, he was plotting the mental health journey with um, physical diseases.
Mm.
I come from a recovery background of alcoholism and not me, drug addiction, but others around me, and codependency. Now, codependency is a term that people throw about, but we don't really know what they are, what it is. And it's really the trauma that underlies any addiction. So, in the scientific trial that we did, I wanted to know where codependency, how codependent people were, and how my modality would shift the needle to better health. And codependency manifests in ways like I can't make decisions easily, I can't take compliments easily, I can't put myself forward, I want to hide, I'm paranoid, I'm self-conscious, all of these things that are created in trauma.
Mm.
They're all, what we can't measure, we can't manage. That's a scientific, sort of axiom. And so I said, okay, let's measure your ability to take compliments and your ability to not make decisions. Those very concrete amorphous. I mean, they're amorphous, but this is a concrete way to measure things. So I got people to take this questionnaire. It's called the Span-Fisher questionnaire. That was 16 questions long about their mental health. And they had 6 ways to answer it, sometimes not at all, but all the time. And over a 24-week period, like 6 months, we used the same questionnaire at the 6-week mark, at the 12-week mark, and at the 24-week mark. Same questions, and at the 0 mark, at the starting point. We gave them my modality. We taught them my modality, and then we also gave them a recording of it. Now, the modality works in the unconscious, not in the conscious mind. And this is where I feel most of the healing now has to happen. Psychologists have told us, okay, you have to do affirmations and you have to believe in yourself, and that's fantastic. However, those of us who have done all that work sometimes still can't get ahead, and we don't know why.
Mm.
It's because we have to go into the unconscious. And that's really what's motivating people. So this modality moves into the unconscious and helps people clear up the trauma, like the belief systems of, a father or a mother saying all the time, you're stupid, you can't do it. But more subtly than that, even not, they don't have to directly say it. It could be an energetic, because we're a non-communicative, like we don't need to use words to convey a message. So we go into the unconscious. They were also given videos. So videos every week to re-educate. So we, pull out the negative and we put in the positive. And they were given a wisdom coach, 15 minutes a week, just as a touch point. So we watched in the first 6 weeks, these 30 participants do this little mini program that we created to see if they would move the needle in terms of their codependency and their addictions. And the results were staggering. So in the first 6 weeks, we had a 12.67% change in participants' behavior. Like that's 6 weeks. There's 6 weeks flies by like that. In the 12-week mark, we had a 20% change in 12 weeks. And of course, we thought, well, we're holding their hand and they're getting, but the official trial ended at the 12-week mark. We then said, hey, go about your life. Thank you very much. And we're going to connect with you in another 6 months or another 3 months and do whatever you like. Go back to your routine, keep doing this, whatever you like. At that 24-week mark, we found out that the results had stuck. So what that means is that they had made permanent change, at least for that 6 months. What was even more heartening, remember I talked about the ACE score. So people came in on all levels of the ACE score. And the higher the ACE is, the more trauma there had been, obviously. What we found is that the sweet spot for the modality for people to shift was between people having an ACE score of 3 to 7. Now, at the 3 mark, somebody is 1,200% more susceptible to addictions. 1,200%. And you only needed 3 little tickies, So between 3 and 7%, or 3 and 7 on the ACE score, there was a 36% change in those people in a 12-week period. So when we took it to statisticians and said, can you do the analysis of the numbers around these behaviors? They came back and they said, this is scientifically significant on behavioral change. Like these numbers are very, very, they're valid, but they're also significant. So I can't explain the science behind it, but I can explain the measurement of the emotions and how we move through it.
Yeah, I understand.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, Angela. And I think the thing that we are slowly but surely understanding is that trauma is stuck in the body. And so with traditional therapy, which is a talking therapy, you will most probably not be able to access those places, right? So, and there is a place for talking therapy, absolutely, if people need to, increase their awareness and all of the things. But I just think there is a lot to be said for people who work on the unconscious and on the energetic level, because that's where you get to those places where you can get to those deep places where trauma is stuck in your body, in the makeup of your body.
100%.